a lot of people would say this was a Barry Bonds season for the one and only Aaron Judge. It is an amazing season with a lot of ups and downs. And I say ups and downs because Aaron Judge in the beginning of the season was a world beater. He was averaging 400 for almost 2 months, probably the longest streak we've seen in about 25 years. And the importance of who he is and what he does in a lineup that could get so cold, really at any point of the season, shows you how important he is to a lineup. He is the indictment of MVP, most valuable player to your team. When you think about Cal Raleigh, and I'm not taking it away from Cal Raleigh and what he's done defensively as a catcher, how he obviously helps a pen and in the rotation, and what he could do on a field. He's a switch hitter. We haven't seen a switch hitter this good and hitting as many home runs. It's Mickey Mantle. I love him as a person. I love the fact after finding out that Aaron Judge won the MVP, he posted up on social media, congratulations to Judge, one of the best players in the league, and he gave him all his props, and that shows you the type of person Cal Raleigh is. I'm not surprised that Aaron Judge won because this is really a competition from the National League to the American League. I think the two best players in the world is Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani. I think we will continue to argue that all the way through for the next 3 to 4 years because these guys are that much better than everybody else. But what makes this feat so interesting and so crazy is really the fact of these numbers from 1961. Think about it. To have the best batting average, the best slugging percentage, and on-base percentage in a single season, to have something like this for over almost it's got to be about 70 years since we've seen a player do this. That, to me, won him the MVP. You could take away what everybody thinks what Cal Raleigh is as a defensive player and as a catcher and as a switch hitter. To lead the league in numbers and when you look at the statistics that the analytics they put together, and baseball really tries to build up through mimicking from decade after decade after decade. Aaron Judge speaks highly of what he is as a numbers player and highly as a leader. I think he's the greatest leader we've seen the Yankees have. I don't know Derek Jeter personally. I don't know how he was in a locker room. I've heard over the years that as good as Derek Jeter was as a leader, Alex Rodriguez was just as good a leader in the locker room for the Yankees. Now, I don't know if that's true, but that's what I've heard through ex-players that we've talked to. What Aaron Judge does for the Yankees is, to me, everything for who the Yankees are and what the Yankees stand for now. And you can say whatever you want. Aaron Judge took less money to stay with the Yankees. He could have went to play for the Giants. He could have played for San Francisco. I'm not sure, but I think he's from the San Francisco area. He could have went to play for his home team. His parents going to every single one of his home games. But he
went
knew
to Fresno State.
I don't know. I thought he's from San Francisco.
He went to Fresno State, yeah.
Yeah, so my thought here is that Aaron Judge chose the Yankees. And he wanted to be a Yankee for life. And he wanted to be in pinstripes for life. And he knew the pressures of being here and what he needed to do to lead this team. He hasn't won a championship. And his career could lead towards not winning a championship. But right now, at 33 years old, this man is, in my eyes, has been the best player in the league for 3 years. I don't think you can argue the numbers. And everybody says every single year about this guy. How do you beat the year before? How do you beat the year before? And it seems like every single year he shows everybody why he is so special, not only to the Yankees organization, to baseball. Internationally, it goes to Ohtani. But what it is and what it stands for to be in pinstripes and to play in New York and take the pressures of New York and what he did in the playoffs this year, hitting 500 when he was the only one hitting in the playoffs, says a great deal of who he is as a person and as a leader. Congratulations to Cal Raleigh. I'm not going to take anything away from him. And if Aaron Judge was not Aaron Judge, Cal Raleigh runs away with the MVP. I don't even think you can argue that. But what Aaron Judge has done in the last 4 years is remarkable. And I don't know how you beat this year and go into another season where you could say, well, try to beat that, Aaron. If there's anybody that can go into a season and you can believe that he is going to beat out what he did the year before, it's Aaron Judge. It's a remarkable feat, and I'm not doing this as a Yankee fan. And I honestly, anybody that knows me, my favorite player on the Yankees is not Aaron Judge. So it says a lot about what I think of the superstar players. This guy is everything to what it is to be a New York Yankee. Everything to be a New York Yankee. Say whatever you want. You want to hate the Yankees organization, as they call them, the evil empire. This team has not been the evil empire since the late 90s and early 2000s. The Yankees need something to be a draw, and this guy is the draw for the Yankees, and I think it's well-deserved. Congratulations to Aaron Judge. Well-deserved season. I don't think there's anybody that can take away this sensational year he had. And you can't pitch around this guy.
No.
He's 6'8", 280 pounds of muscle. You could pitch on the outside. You could pitch on the inside. You could. I mean, look at what the Blue Jays did in that series. They tried to pitch inside on his hands, and what did he do? He pulled the ball at 100 miles per hour right off the pole. I mean, it just shows you what type of player he is and how special he really is for the Yankees and really for baseball. Without him, I know everybody keeps talking about what Shohei Ohtani does. Without a guy in the American League as good as Aaron Judge, it takes away the stardom that we've seen over the years that baseball has brought to the forefront. I think having a guy in the National League like Ohtani and having a guy in the American League like Aaron Judge, and both on different sides of the world, one in New York and the other one in L.A., that's what makes baseball crazy right now and special.
People are like, oh, it was a lot closer than I thought. It didn't surprise me. It almost a co-MVP for the first time in over 20 years. But something that I really thought was interesting, I don't know if you guys heard it or paid attention or whatever, but Dan Patrick brought this up, and I thought it was really interesting. He goes, what if it was switched? What if Cal was in New York and Aaron was in Seattle? How different would it be? And I think that's a very, very good point that they brought up, and it definitely changes things for sure. But they're two great years historically that go down for two completely different reasons, right? And obviously one person got the award. Do I think it should have been, if it was a co-MVP type of year? Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't have, nobody would have been butthurt. Nobody would have been like, oh, yeah. I mean, obviously people are going to look at it from both perspectives and either agreed or disagreed. But if it did happen, people weren't going to be up in arms and like, holy crap, it's like, we need a recount, like whatever. But yeah, I think it was just, somebody had to win. It was unbelievable years by both, and to both of their credits, I mean, obviously great ambassadors of the game. Two good dudes, don't know either of them, but everybody that I've talked to said they're just great people, which, obviously is more important than anything you'll ever do on a baseball field. So baseball's in a good spot with those guys, being able to, and obviously they're representing USA. So that'll be fun. But yeah, just it's going to be a year where you're going to remember both of these. Obviously, you're going to remember Judge getting the MVP, but you're not going to like, we could talk about it all the time. Who came in second last year? It's one of those seasons where you're not going to forget it like others. And then Jose Ramirez is kind of
he's
the
consistently third a lot. He's always the odd man out.
There's only been 4 players in history. They're all Hall of Famers and at third base. And Jose Ramirez is low key, probably, if he continues down this road, is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Because everybody that has been in his situation and done what he's done, they're all Hall of Famers. And there's only been 3 others besides him in the history of baseball to do what he's done. And he's playing at a wrong time when somebody is really, really good and continues to get better over time. Will we see how his career unfolds as far as he's still going to play the outfield? Speaking of Judge, is how much longer does he play the outfield? Do they try a thing at first, or do they move him straight to DH? Father Time doesn't lose. So a body that big and a man that has played as many games as he had, and obviously there's been some years with some bad luck, right?
Sure.
But I mean, he answers the bell in as many games as he can. So it'll be interesting to see. And then obviously Cal from the other side, it's like, how long can he do what he did? I think it's amazing what he did behind the plate. Crazy. No pass balls to be able to navigate, 13 different, and obviously the guys that are up and down, but 13 of your main guys trying to make sure that you keep them on their P's and Q's. And it's just two historically great years that this will be one that they go back and you will remember who came in second. And that's a lot to be said for where the game of baseball is at.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's taking away how good Cal Raleigh's been. I mean, I'm not taking away from him. If he won, I would have said, or it was a co-MVP. I don't think I would argue that either. But when you look at the metrics, and I do not like analytics, the way they bring these analytics to the forefront. The thing that I look at all the time is batting average, and I look at home runs, and I look at on-base percentage. Those are the three things I look. And when I look at that, even with Aaron Judge being out as significant, he was out for 3 weeks, and he shouldn't have come back. A lot of people thought at the time the Yankees were falling apart, and he needed to come back. As soon as he came back, it took him a while to figure things out. Once he did, the Yankees started winning. Why do you think the Yankees started winning? Was because he started to hit. And I think he just makes a complete difference. When we talk about MVP, okay, and I'm not saying Shohei Ohtani isn't the best player in the National League. I would absolutely say that he is. When I look at Shohei Ohtani, he's playing for an all-world team. The team is unbelievable. He doesn't have to pitch because he's got Yamamoto on that roster. He doesn't have to hit because he's got Friedman and Mookie Betts on that roster and other guys on that roster. What Aaron Judge does for that lineup, when we talk about most valuable player, is if he hits and he puts on, if he's 3 for 4 or 3 for 5, there's a good chance the Yankees are going to win that game. And that's because what he does is he puts every pitcher in that position to say, well, I can pitch around him, but if I pitch around him or try to pitch around him, he's still going to be chasing. He's still going to try to hit the ball out of the ballpark, or he's trying to pull it to the other side of the play, side of the field. So what makes Aaron Judge so special is you can't pitch around him. He's 6'8". He stands in a box where he just completely dominates. And I remember in the past, everybody says, well, how do you get Aaron Judge out? Well, you got to pitch up high and inside. You can't do that to him anymore because he'll just pull the ball.
He did that once. If you look at his numbers on balls there, balls on the inside, he was hitting less than 150. Like, he did it once, and it just so happened to be in the playoffs. Like, let's not say he's the greatest inside ball hitter.
I didn't say he's the greatest, but now
you said you can't throw him there because he's going to pull it. No, he's not.
Well, it's amazing he did, though. I think it was just like so bizarre that he pulled that's the pitch that was like the statement of that game.
Jabba, I'm going to give you a little shout out on this. When we go into the season this year, and he's one of the best at pulling those balls, because it seems like every single year he's trying.
I guarantee you, it's less than 180 on balls in her third.
Every year, this guy finds a way. Well, how is he going to be better? How is he going to be better? And he finds something that he wasn't good at, and he gets better at.
So what are you going to do when you're wrong?
Then I'm wrong. And what am I going to do when I'm right?
You're not going to be right. I can promise you that.
All right.